And that was a shoot.
Yeah, that's full-blown shooting.
Since you want to shoot, cowboy!
And now, the Real Shoot Wrestling Podcast.
Alright, we are here at the Real Shoot Wrestling Podcast. We're already at episode 3. It's hard to believe.
I know, we've actually made time and stuff. I'm Tim Cross, and with me, as always, is Gabe Jones.
Yes, sir. And we are excited to talk about this past weekend, everything that was WrestleMania weekend. First of all, we'd just like to thank you guys for listening so far. We've had so many positive feedback.
Which is very surprising to me.
Yeah, I mean, two knuckleheads talking about wrestling, who knew? If you guys don't know already, we just started a Twitter account this week. It is RSW Podcast, so find us on there. We might live tweet during some shows. It might be funner to, if you're into that.
Yeah, we also have, obviously, the Real Shoot Wrestling page on Facebook. And within the next couple weeks, we will be expanding to some other types of social media, like Instagram and stuff like that. So keep an eye open for it.
And also, if you don't know already, we're on iTunes, we're on YouTube, we're on Stitcher, we're on SoundCloud.
There's always a way to listen to us if you want to.
Yes.
And if you do, we appreciate it.
Definitely.
So I'm just going to say it. Just wow, this weekend in general.
It was a lot.
From Friday to last night, there were tears. I had to change my underwear twice. It's pretty crazy.
Shane probably has to change his underwear for the next few days.
I don't think he's doing it for himself. I think somebody else is.
So what did you think of Mania overall? Just the show?
Mania was everything I thought it would be, and a little bit more because of the surprises. As a show, as for what it is as WrestleMania, it was good. It was a good WrestleMania.
I don't think it was as good as the last 2 years. I think it was maybe on par with 28 or 29. But it was a good show. I don't know, it kind of felt lackluster for me.
Honestly, like the matches itself, I think they kind of blew their load on the first two. And then
I didn't have any problem with the matches themselves. It was just the booking of...
it was just like the Undertaker match was just a whole lot of like punch, 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 war out. Let's take a second. Punch, 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 punch. Big spot. Then break the cage. Shane falls from the top. Yeah. And then bring it. I'm still got something. And then boom, tombstone. It's over.
The whole issue with that was just the booking. That, for a whole 2 months, they booked this angle that the show would get better if Shane runs it, and then it ends with Taker winning, which means that we're going to have the same crappy show we've had.
Now, see, that was the problem, though. A lot of people didn't realize if it was Shane had to win or Shane just had to have a match and survive.
Yeah, I think that they just flubbed some things.
I think that there was some mess-ups with the way they worded certain things and during the promos, and it was just very unsure.
Yeah. Ambrose and Lesnar for me was disappointing.
Oh, yeah. Very disappointing. Like, was there even any blood?
No, and they had all these segments with Mick Foley and Terry Funk where they teased all these weapons and they didn't even use them.
Yeah. Tell me about it. I know. I think a chainsaw. A chainsaw.
Yeah.
He started a chainsaw and was going to use it. He
didn't even start it. He just cranked it and didn't start it.
Well,
I don't see the point.
Neither do I. I honestly think like Mania itself was entertaining and it kept my attention and blah, blah, blah. But the matches that led up to it and for the anticipation that was coming from it, the matches really didn't do anything for me.
No.
It was all the extras that was like, hold up, what's going on? Wait a minute. kind of thing.
And the thing that bothered me the most about that was you're booking Dean Ambrose to be pretty much the biggest face in the company the last couple months. I mean, even so much as you keep Roman Reigns off the show, and then you build this and to make him into a sympathetic face, and then you have a match where that doesn't happen. I mean, it's done before any chance of that even happens.
Yeah, I don't understand what they're doing there. I don't know, but all I know is that I think it is moving in a different direction, and even though Dean is, big in popularity, I just don't think he's the man. I don't think he's the one. I don't think he could carry a company for anything. He's entertaining, he's good, he does his job, and people like him. I like him. I just don't think he's somebody strong enough that can carry a company on his own. Can they tease him in a title situation? Yeah, but...
Do you think he's Jeff Hardy, pretty much?
He's Jeff Hardy, he's The Miz, they put the title on Miz, but what was the point? That was literally just a placeholder.
Yeah.
Sometimes... For the title to get to where it needs to get, there needs to be somebody else in the middle for it to get there. Like, honestly, you going to have Miz win at Mania? No. Have Miz win on Monday. Have Ryder, for the big surprise, win at Mania.
So what was the reasoning behind AJ Styles losing on Sunday? And then inevitably he's going to put over Reigns. So, that's 2 pay-per-view losses in a row for a guy you just brought in.
But see, this is how it is. Yeah, you just brought him in. 14 years on what people would say the Indies. You come into a big multi-million-dollar company like that, and they pay you the money that they pay you. They kind of want to make sure you're going to play ball. So.
But is he already going to be the guy that's like the Jericho role where he's just putting people over?
No, I don't think so. I don't think there's a point in that. I think that he's going to be the guy soon. But the thing is, and this is what I'm talking about, Reigns is a placeholder champion. I really do think they're going to put it on him, put it on
Even
AJ.
Though he's probably going to hold it to SummerSlam?
I honestly don't think he's going to hold it till SummerSlam. I don't think he has the power to do that.
I think he's going to hold it till Rollins comes back.
I think that would be a bad choice for ratings.
I don't think they care about ratings anymore. Speaking of ratings,
they do on Monday. They're changing. They have to because USA told them to.
They just got a report today that the Raw after Mania, compared to last year, is down 25%. So
this Raw was down?
Compared to last year, it's 25% less viewers than last year's Raw after Mania.
Wow.
Yeah, that's significant.
Well, you got to understand, it's significant because they put the title on Reigns.
Yeah.
There was nothing to tune into. I guarantee the go back and watch Raws are happening more than the hey, let's sit down and watch Raw because of Reigns won. There was part of it that people just don't care about. Maybe they tuned in for the first couple minutes, but probably they turned it off.
And so I think the biggest question mark of all was the main event on Sunday, the Roman Reigns versus Triple H fiasco. And I think the biggest problem that I had with it is they always talk about how awesome the WWE Universe is, and from the time that Roman Reigns' music hits, they muted the crowd. So, what does that say about the way that they look at Roman Reigns?
I said it today on the Facebook page, and like I said last week, they're about 2 years behind on Roman. They should have pushed him when he was in there with Batista, but at the same time, that was the year where Daniel got his. But what I'm saying is they're literally now to the point to where he came in as a face with a group. It worked. The group split apart. Time's passed on Roman. and now no one likes him because he's being pushed down our throats. Because compared to the other two that were in the Shield, he's poopy.
Yeah.
And he now is in this, I'm not a good guy, I'm not a bad guy, but I'm the guy because I've got the title. Well, he's only got the title for right now because right now he can't be the guy. You don't have a guy like that and booed like he is and have him be the guy. So, like I said, I think he's just later I think he's going to be way better because right now I think they're literally doing what they did with Rock. If you remember with Rock, came in, babyface, smiled, everybody loves him, everybody loved Roman, and then boom, out of nowhere, they were just getting sick of the same old blah situation, so they turn him heel. He's going to get over to the point to where he's going to be heel for so long that they're going to start liking him for it, just like The Rock. He's probably going to get some stupid catchphrases, just like The Rock, and then out of nowhere, it's going to catch. Yeah, believe that. And then it's going to catch, and then the next thing you know, everybody's going to adore Roman, and hopefully by that time, he can wrestle and sell.
But they're already building the company around him, and they're already comparing him. Everyone's comparing him to John Cena. But the biggest difference is he's not selling. I mean, I didn't see one Roman Reigns shirt this past week. He's not selling merch, and on top of all that, I don't think that people are buying tickets to see him. I don't see that.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Where we're at right now, the only people wanting to see him are kids and women.
But it's the same with Cena. It's still not on the same level as Cena.
It's the same with Cena. It is. People want to see Roman beat.
Well, that's true.
People pay tickets to see Roman Reigns lose.
I think it's already more on a Sheamus level though, which is not good. Where if you're at the arena, you're booing, but if you're watching it on TV, you're changing the channel when he's on there, and that's not what they want. Not
at all. But they're not. Maybe they're noticing that now, and like I said, they're getting to the point to where they're fixing it. But at the same time, like he's their champion right now. So it's something to where we're just gonna have to watch it unfold because I feel like this is not where they need to be with him.
Okay, so that's been some constructive criticism. Now let's talk about the plenty of good things that happened. And let's start with some guy named Nakamura that just blew the door down. Okay, so
we're done talking about. Are we just talking about the weekend in general?
We're not done talking about WrestleMania. We're just done talking about the bad stuff for now.
All right, dude. I have to be honest. I'm just completely and utterly happy that Nakamura. I'm happy with Nakamura's appearance. I'm happy with Nakamura's new music. I'm happy with Nakamura in the ring. Everything he did is exactly what I want.
He was even getting chants at the main event at Mania.
Yeah, he got Nakamura chants and then he got Nakamura chants last night. I'm sorry, but there are certain people that should have probably been popped for Mania or last night that weren't, and they're just wasting their time with Nakamura in NXT if Finn's going to stay there as champion.
Yeah, I wonder how. They announced that during that show that Finn Balor and Bayley was pretty much going to stick around the tour with the brand. So
yeah,
I don't know how much longer they're going to be there, but yeah, my whole reasoning behind Nakamura staying in NXT was to help them draw for the tour. But I don't really know who's going to be sticking around now.
Well, I mean, if you were going to get pushed to the main, for the most part, last night's when it happens. And we didn't see Joe. We didn't see Nakamura. We didn't see Finn. Hell, we didn't even see Bayley. So I would say that it's just a situation to where we're not going to see a couple more probably until about SummerSlam.
We did see Sami Zayn, and it was pretty much his. Was that his first pay-per-view match for the main brand?
Well, he was in the Rumble.
That's true. But I mean, like, I guess that's true. But I mean, I think he was a great way to start out the show with him and KO and the rest of the slew of participants in the ladder match. I thought that they had a really good showing in that match.
Oh, dude, man, I teared up like twice during that match.
Oh yeah, when Stardust brought out that ladder.
Sorry,
three times. I never thought a ladder could make me cry.
3 times, 3 times I teared up during that match, and if honestly, the first time was when I saw Stardust's gear.
Yeah.
And the ladder. I pretty much combined the two.
Yeah.
That one. For me, really, when Kevin Owens and oddly enough, Sami Zayn started like beating the crap out of each other in the middle of the ring, throwing fists, I got a little teary-eyed because I have literally followed them since the beginning. Mm-hmm. From the very beginning, since they have been on TV or been big enough news to hear about, I have followed them. And to finally see them on that type of stage is kind of like, hey, he finally made it. Like, yeah. you follow somebody so much in a situation like that when you're a fan that part of you is like, you're a part of their life, but they don't know anything about you. But, you're a part of their life, and you're proud to see that happen for them. And then, obviously, Zack Ryder won, and his dad came in, and it was the whole father-son thing. Mm-hmm. And my wife started joking with me about our little boys being tag team champions when they get older. So that got to me. So I blame my wife for one of them.
How about Baron Corbin winning the Battle Royal?
I'm sorry, but I think that is awesome.
Yeah.
Because everybody's giving him crap on NXT, but the dude can go.
Yeah.
And he's a big guy, and he's young.
He has really good personality, too.
Really good personality. He plays the part well, and he listens.
I think that is what The Undertaker had in mind when he had the biker gimmick.
Yeah, I feel like Corbin is exactly what Undertaker wanted to be when he tried to be the badass.
Yeah, definitely. And, I actually thought he was going to be the guy that would beat Ryder Monday.
For the title?
Yeah, because I heard that Ryder was going to lose the title, and I figured it would be Corbin, but it was definitely a good showing for him. He had a good match with Aries over the weekend as well. A couple other matches from Friday was Finn Balor, Samoa Joe. Some people were complaining about it. I don't.
Who? What? On that?
Just because of the whole ref stoppage thing.
Blood's blood, man, and it wasn't planned, so you kind of got to make sure that happens, but at the same time, like, leave it the hell alone.
I actually thought it was an orbital bone problem, to be honest with you, because he was swelling below the eye too.
I didn't see that, but a situation like that, you gotta, the way they are nowadays, and with the lawsuits that they're getting,
yeah,
they kind of have to be that way. If it's not planned and they see blood, they've got to check it out. They had to first of all clean it and make sure it was not bad, that he could continue, and then second of all, they had to check, like you said, his bone, to make sure nothing was bad, because anything can happen, and it's to the point now to where there's no reason that somebody should be screwed up for the rest of their life just to continue a match.
And, I mean, you guys have to understand that the WWE invests money into these guys.
Yeah, so, you can't be like you said, investing the money on these guys that they are, and then just don't touch them, don't worry about them, let them finish, and then it gets to the back, and
they can't wrestle for 3 more months.
Yeah, and exactly, and he's hurt for 3-6 months, and he can't do anything. I mean, to move it back to Saturday night. If you remember Vader telling the story about Stan Hansen giving him a clothesline and literally knocked his eyeball out
of socket, yeah,
like out of socket. So if his orbital bone would have been broke and the match would have continued, Samoa Joe's eye could have fallen out.
Yeah.
So you got to understand that kind of thing's got to be checked. But then you have stuff like, Roman and Tripp where there was blood, but that was planned.
Yeah.
So they knew that was going to happen. So you've got to be understanding about it. It sucks for them, and you got to feel bad for them that they didn't have the match that they really wanted. But at the same time, after about 5 minutes of wiping it off, the match was just going. And it wasn't bad at all.
No, it wasn't at all. Two other outstanding matches that saw title changes was Asuka and American Alpha on Friday night, who both had amazing showings. I think this is the first, and this wasn't really mentioned, but I think this is the first time a Japanese wrestler has won a title in the WWE since, I don't know, it's been a while. Maybe since Takam
Michinoku?
won the
When he
light
won
heavyweight title.
I really...
Did Tajiri win any kind of title? I don't remember.
Tajiri had tag belts. But
As far as a singles title, though, it's been a while.
I really can't think of anyone. It's been forever.
But yeah, that's definitely a good thing, and I know that the WWE really wants to push both Asuka and Nakamura because of the Japanese. They just opened the WWE Network in Japan, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons they brought them in.
Yeah, I mean, you got to understand, like, you want the wrestling to be there, and you want the show, and you want your favorite wrestler there that's on the indies or whatnot and all this stuff. But at the same time, this is a business.
Yeah.
It's about making money. So, of course, they're going to go grab what they can from Japan because they're opening up in Japan. It's just smart business tact.
Yeah.
So, like I said, everybody wants to have a great, wrestling show and everything. But in the bottom line, if you don't have money because you're a bad business person, then there is no wrestling. So, that's just a smart business move. You also got to realize they just hired, what's his name, Ubashi?
Yeah. I was going to mention.
He just signed as well. So
maybe even Bobby Roode.
Well, Bobby Roode, I mean, if they put Bobby Roode on TV, he's already in the mix.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. So it's just a matter of time before that happens. And honestly, I don't know why he's in NXT either.
Well, they have a system, I guess.
Like they have a system, and certain people got to go through a certain way, and I get that and everything. But it's just like, for me personally, Roode is what Orton should be. Roode is Roode is what everybody wants out of Orton, but doesn't get, because, in all honesty, Orton is lame. In my opinion, it's just, you can only do an RKO so many ways, and you can only do things like, oh, I'm crazy and I'm a snake. I'm a crazy snake. Like, come on, like, get out of here with that crap.
That's what Austin did.
No, he's not. He was a bad
rattlesnake.
He was the rattlesnake, but he was a badass.
Speaking of badasses, Cesaro returned. Finally.
Thank you. That I almost pulled a Sami Zayn last night. I was so pumped and flung my arm around and like.
Did he steal The Rock's suit and kind of just throw it out like The Rock did?
I think they shared the same pants, but no, that's old. That's actually old gear of Cesaro's. That's his old gimmick. If no one knew Cesaro before as Claudio Castagnoli, that was his gimmick. He was the Swiss Superman. And it's just, I was so pumped that he was in it last night.
Like, for any of those people that are complaining, we had Claudio and Styles and Jericho and Kevin Steen in the ring
at the same time.
I mean, if you would have told us that 2 years ago, I mean, just think about that.
Between TakeOver and Mania, if you'd have told me the people that were involved was going to be involved 3 years ago, I would have called you a liar.
For real, yes. So I heard a little thing about Lucha Underground. Not besides MVP signing, which that's big.
Never a big fan of the baller.
Really?
No.
I think that's a good place for him in Lucha Underground. But I heard Prince Puma has been killed off in one of the tapings.
What do you mean killed off?
Like, there's been rumors that he has signed a deal with the WWE.
I mean, that's quite possibly as Ricochet.
Ricochet, yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure they have.
And he's got a match this weekend in Japan with Evan Bourne, Matt Sydal. Is that how you spell it?
Sydal. Matt Sydal.
So that'll be interesting to see if they drop the titles.
Now,
because he doesn't have any indie bookings after June.
He doesn't have any indie bookings, and plus, he has those titles with Sydal, but like in Japan, man, there's between the Bucks, Japan's own boys, Machine Guns are in Japan right now, right?
No, they're gone.
No, the Motor City Machine Guns.
Okay,
I think they got back together in Japan. Red Dragon, you know, they can drop them to, or the best friends. What's his name? Trent and I forget what his name is. Rico. Yeah, Rico something. They could drop the belts to anyone and be fine because of it. What would make me mad though is at this point, you know, how you're not going to have Evan Bourne now.
Yeah.
So hopefully they sign both of them.
That's true. Are you going to watch the Japan show this weekend?
Of course. Of course.
Big show.
Japan to me is just the respect issue. I mean, honestly, if you want to know what a Japan crowd is like, just watch TakeOver.
Yeah.
Except they're not so chanty, obviously.
Right.
They're real quiet, and then when something really cool happens, they're appreciative and they clap. But,
and Yoshitatsu's on the card.
I know.
I mean, so why not watch it?
Well, I mean, if he depends, he doesn't have to worry about Styles now breaking his neck, because what an idiot. Like, how are you in wrestling for that long and not know how to take the Styles clash?
Have you heard him on commentary? He's not the brightest guy.
Oh, yeah, I know. He's one of those Japanese guys that can talk English, but everything is so weird when he says it in English. Like, he's talking to Matt Stryker over there. He's like, yeah, I know how you know, it's just like, stop it. Don't let him talk anymore.
All right, so match of the week. You got one? Okay, I'll give mine, and you can think about yours.
I mean, you got to be honest. Mine's just flat out easy.
Okay, you're gonna.
It's Nakamura and Sami Zayn.
All right.
I mean, just the kicks to the face and the punches to the face.
Yes.
Is just like, listen, this is strong style. This is what I've been talking about. This is what I'm saying that they need in WWE to get more of the UFC type people to watch, because it's getting a little bit more physical, and I think it should. I think it's to the point to where it should get that physical to really have who has staying power and who doesn't.
Monday Night Nitro, December 18th, 1995. The main event at that night is Macho Man versus the Giant for the WCW title. Macho Man wins the title. I think that might be the first WCW title change in Nitro history, but that's not the match that I'm picking. Earlier that night, Ric Flair versus Eddie Guerrero in a great match. One of the best matches early on in Nitro history. And I picked that because of the Sasha Banks shout out to Eddie Guerrero at Mania. Was that not a sweet get-up that she had on?
Oh, well, let me tell you, I was going into that match wanting Becky to win. I didn't think Becky was going to win,
you tear up?
But I wanted her to. But then, when I saw Sasha's gear, I thought to myself, that looks like Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
And then, literally, Michael Cole explains it. And at that point, Sasha was then my girl to win it, because I'm a huge, huge fan of Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
Roger Huffman, you can suck it.
That was I think that may have been my favorite thing of the whole weekend, was that whole match and the new title, which is sweet.
It's sweet, but why would you put red on red? I don't get that. You put red on red.
It's not the same shade of red, though.
It's red on red.
Well, maybe they have plans for Eva Marie to hold the title soon.
I can only hope. and then Eva Marie can make the whole strap red.
That would be so awesome. Plus the nameplates.
Honestly, I think the way they have it right now is you have your world as gold, you have your tag titles as looks like huge pennies, copper. Your middleweight belt needs to be silver, and the women's belt needs to be silver if you're going to use a white band. And damn it, don't put red on red.
Do you have a wrestler of the week?
Wrestler of the week? First of all, we're not done talking about match of the week.
Okay.
How are you going to watch this weekend in general and pick a Nitro from years ago?
Because I'm a history major, all right? I got to pick something from an old school thing, all right? I already talked about all the matches I liked.
I understand that. That's all you liked?
Well, you already picked the obvious choice that I was going to pick, and I just said that the women's match was my favorite from the weekend.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, that tag match was absolutely incredible.
It was good.
For a tag team match in the WWE. That match is what everybody in the WWE should strive to be as a tag team.
Speaking of tag teams, Enzo and Cass.
Yeah, Enzo
finally
and Cass.
getting call-ups.
I mean,
and the Vaudevillains this week.
Well, they're going to be on SmackDown,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that makes sense. Put them on SmackDown, and you premiere Enzo last night. Because let's think about it. If you're not going to bring them out to make fun of League of Nations,
then you got to do it against the Dudleys.
Dudleys just make
That's
it that
perfect.
much better. Because you know how they've been recently. It's just a whole bunch of, oh yeah, we think that's cool. Oh yeah, let's walk away. And then when you're never not looking, we'll put you through a table. Like, that's literally how it's been. So shooting Enzo out there to make fun of them right at the end like that, to me, is absolutely incredible. Helps them out. It'll probably work that feud to where it'll help them out as well. I mean,
Yeah.
you got these guys working the Dudleys, so it's going to help them out themselves just to get better, and it's going to help them out with the crowd. But from the way it sounded, they don't need a whole lot of help.
No. I'm tired of people saying that they won't connect with the Raw crowd. Because, I mean...
Well, some of them don't.
I know, but I'm talking specifically about Enzo and Cass.
Oh yeah, whenever they said, "Oh, they won't make sense to a Raw crowd," bullshit.
Yeah,
you
for
saw
real.
it. You saw it last night. They said they were saying lines with them that they knew.
They were singing a song
They were
made
singing
up.
the song. It was like, hey, they were like doing that Enzo thing, and it's just anything anymore. You don't need to have an opinion until you see it happen. Like the whole saying it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. Well, did you really fucking think Santino was going to work? I mean, me and my wife were talking last night. She was watching Mania with me and just goes, "There's a 20-foot box of Bootios for New Day."
Yeah.
And if you
with
remember,
bagels in it.
and if you remember when they came out originally, no one gave a
Nobody.
shit.
No.
Literally, no one cared. And my wife just goes, "I don't." This is literally the comment she made talking about New Day. "I don't know how this got this far." That's literally what she said.
Yeah, my wife loves them too. They're her favorite thing.
Yeah, she hated them when they first come out, but now she laughs
My
at
mom
them.
even hated them when they first came out.
My wife now laughs at them, but at the same time, she's just like, "I don't get this." I was like, I think that's kind of the point. You're not supposed to get it. You're just supposed to go with it.
So, okay, wrestler of the week.
Wrestler of the week. Okay, here we go. Here's my wrestler of the week, because I don't know if this is known, but there was somebody that made a huge return this weekend at ROH.
Okay.
Do you know about this?
No.
Colt Cabana
Oh, okay.
is now back
All right.
in ROH. So I'm going to pick two, but
Okay.
it's for one company.
All right.
So Colt Cabana returning to ROH, and I have to give a shout out to my buddy Jason Kincaid, who was in Dallas this weekend. He's actually a member of the Real Shoot Wrestling
Facebook
group. Jason Kincaid was in Dallas working for ROH this weekend. So if you're a wrestler and you were in Dallas this weekend, you're doing something right. And that's where he was at. So congratulations to him. And if you haven't checked out Jason the Gift Kincaid yet, please do. He had an amazing match for the new top prospects tournament for ROH. And the matches that he's had with Chase Stevens, which Chase Stevens is now in Japan as part of the Bullet Club. The matches he's had with him in the States for Smoky Mountain Wrestling and the East Coast area. Those two even worked for a house show for TNA Impact. And they were going to get signed by TNA, but I don't know what happened there.
Oh.
But yeah. So I'd have to go with my wrestlers for the week. I'd have to go with Colt Cabana for his big return to ROH, and my buddy Jason Kincaid that was in Dallas for ROH.
I have to go with Baron Corbin, the balding Baron Corbin.
First of all, he's not balding. He just has thin hair, and he has to wet it.
Balding, okay. First of all, he had a impressive match on Friday. Then he surprises us, winning the Battle Royal, and then has a great match with Dolph last night.
He did, but I gotta ask you about this because a lot of people are saying that Friday's match with him was lame.
I thought it was really good.
I gotta be honest.
I mean, it was two styles clashing against each other, so I can understand that. But I mean, it was an old school ground and pound, a guy that's a high flyer.
That's what I thought. Like I liked the match compared to the rest of the card. It was. The least.
But you have to have that.
But at the same time, you also didn't even give anybody Apollo Crews and Samson because you knew that was going to be the worst match on the card. And if you're going to premiere Crews on Monday like they did, you don't want to do that. But Corbin and Aries, I thought was good, but it seemed like everybody just didn't like it, and it's because of first of all, the rest of the show. Second of all, it's like nobody likes Corbin.
Well, I think that he's got a good future ahead of him.
I think he has everything he needs to be on the main roster, doing big things, and just destroying people.
Well, guys, thank you for joining us. Once again, if you haven't given us a good review on iTunes, please do that. We would greatly appreciate that. We should probably do at least a show before the next pay-per-view, I'd say.
Yeah. Are we done? That was quick.
Well, it's over half. We talked for over a half hour.
Oh, well, these people want to hear more.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Like what?
Are you serious? This the weekend we have? We didn't even talk about Sean, Austin, and Mick. We didn't talk about Rock and the Wyatts.
I try not to think about the Rock burying the Wyatts.
Okay, all right. We need to talk. The term and the word buried. I have a feeling that they're not buried. Does anybody remember when Sheamus kicked off Daniel Bryan's face and beat him for the world title in 18 seconds? And then what happened? Okay. Daniel Bryan became the biggest in the world. The only person I would say that has just flat out been buried in the past 10 years, or as Gabe would put it, the era of Cena, the only person is Alex Riley.
You don't think Damian Sandow's been buried?
No, I don't think. It's just they don't know what to do with him right now. And that's fine. You cannot know what to do with somebody right now.
So you think it's a writing problem?
Yeah, like what are they going to do with him? He can't just be the genius reincarnated. It's like they like him, but you got to remember they liked him now because of what he did with Miz.
But just think about where he was a year ago. He was one of the most over guys in the company.
And did you not notice the Rumble? He still is. So what they need to do is realize what they want to do with him and put him back out there now. But at the same time, you can't just throw him out there and it be a shit show.
I think he's gone in the next couple weeks.
I don't know.
They're going to make some cuts soon.
Well, honestly, they should make some cuts. There are some other companies that some of these guys could really help their product. Honestly, like I said, Sandow could help a TNA product. Swagger could help a TNA product. Pretty much 50% of the people that was in the Rumble could help a TNA product.
Or anybody else.
What do you
Ring
mean?
of Honor.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, some people.
Japan's got a lot of voids because they've lost a lot of people.
Some people. I think certain people can only work in ROH or a Japan.
I think Tyler Breeze would be phenomenal in Japan.
Tyler Breeze would be awesome on Lucha.
Yeah.
As that gimmick.
Yeah, but they already have Johnny Mundo. It's almost the same thing.
One is a rock star and one's Zoolander. Like, let's be honest. You got people like Sandow. His gimmick, the smart guy, would work in TNA right now. The swagger, if Kurt's done in TNA, right?
Yeah.
So let's get somebody else that's America, representing America in there, because nobody else is right now. So use him right now while you can. But the whole fact of the buried thing, people say that, Jericho buried AJ because he beat him at Mania. Well, they're just making sure he plays ball before they go and before they give him the ball to run with. You got people like Daniel Bryan, made the same way with him, so they had to make sure. You, I know yourself, have said KO was buried because Cena beat him. Sami Zayn was buried.
No, I never said he was buried.
Who?
KO.
Well, how is he not? How does he not fall into the rest of the categories for you?
Because
Cena beat him.
He's a different personality. He's a one-of-a-kind guy. Okay. There's a lot of guys that can't overcome that.
Yeah, and those are the people that need to not be there anyway. Come on, what are we missing? What are we missing here when it comes to Alex Riley and Zack Ryder if they were never there?
Well, there's a few other guys. There's Wade Barrett. There's Bray Wyatt.
We talked about Bray. We talked about Wade Barrett, and the guy can't stay healthy. How are you going to put a title on him long enough when he can't stay healthy? I don't think Cena buried him at all. I think writing and the fact that he just keeps getting injured does not help him. He has been injured since he's been in League of Nations.
Yeah, well, I don't think he's going to be around much longer either, unfortunately. Where do you think Wade Barrett would go?
Home.
No, he'd retire?
I don't think he'd be in it much longer.
Okay. Well, you think we're done now? Do you have anything else on your mind?
Well, it's just I just feel like there's. What about Wyatt and The Rock?
I
mean, what did you expect? I mean, Rock came out there and was just like, "Hey, what's going on? I'm The Rock. Here's 100,000 people. See ya." Like, if that's what I would have got, I would have been fucking pissed. Like, what? You're gonna give me The Rock and this is all I get? But then you give me a segment that will probably be remembered forever as The Rock and Bray talking to each other. Now, let me explain. As soon as Rock opens his mouth, it's going to be a shit show, and everybody laughed. But for me, I hated it when he opened his mouth because of the whole you're doing a certain thing, and now I'm just going to make fun of what you do. That's pretty
what The Rock does.
I know, but it's cool to see them together, but at the same time, I don't want him making fun of his gimmick. But it still kind of worked to the point of it wasn't like, let me make fun of you for a long time, and mainly he made fun of his henchman, as you would say, instead of Bray in general. It was more of a Strowman, your parents are related, and Eric Rowan, you're just an idiot. Yeah. You're an inbred Duck
I'm curious
Dynasty.
To see where that goes, because it seems like they kind of turned face yesterday, the Wyatts.
Yeah, I have no clue what they're doing.
I don't think they do either, to be honest.
I mean, I think Bray's hurt, so they're trying not to give him too much, and they're wanting to kill some things off. Literally, they could get rid. I could give you a name, I could give you 10 names of people that they could just get rid of and be fine. All of League of Nations, in general. Like, who's there that everybody's
Rusev,
like,
they need to keep Rusev.
why?
Because he's hilarious.
But nobody cares anymore.
Why?
I mean, what do you mean, why? Why they
Cena
care about
buried
him? Oh, yeah, because Cena buried him. No, WWE buried him because he's an idiot. And in the middle of a story, you go and get married to the person that you're not with.
So he shouldn't have gotten married?
He shouldn't have let it be known to TMZ.
I guess so.
You can't let that be known and not expect some type of repercussions.
I think you got to keep Rusev at least.
Because look at it
He's
this
a
way.
TV champ,
Look at
for
it this
crying
way.
out loud.
Sheik and Duggan were traveling together, and they were fighting each other.
Yeah, and then they got fired because of it.
Yes, exactly. So they should both be happy that they're not already fired, that they let something like that get out.
Well, Lana might be fired soon, so...
Not after what everybody... They just put her over as the match, as the Divas match.
Yeah, I guess so.
So I don't know there, but she better learn how to wrestle, because it seems like that's what they want her to do, and it's not going to get anywhere.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We are leaving for real this time.
Well, yeah, we're definitely done. So make sure you check out New Japan Pro Wrestling coming up this weekend.
Yes.
Invasion Attack, is that the name of it?
Yeah.
And the main is Rainmaker versus who?
Is it Tanahashi?
Honestly, with WrestleMania weekend being
Yeah.
here, that pretty
Yeah.
much my mind is pretty wrestled out.
Yes.
So, but next week I probably would like to talk about, me personally, some Hall of Fame speeches.
Yeah, we can talk
because
about that next week.
let's just say those were funny.
I've not watched them all yet.
You haven't watched them all
No.
yet? All I know is it makes no sense to me that most of the time Michael P.S. Hayes looks like he just came out of
Back to the Future car.
church on Easter, looking like a damn Easter egg, looking like a pimp. Let's be honest, he
Yeah.
looked like a pimp. But then whenever he accepts his speech with the Fabulous Freebirds, he's got on a damn
Fanny pack.
fanny pack. You know, like, what's that about? But yeah, next week I'd like to talk about some Hall of Fame. We'll obviously talk about Invasion Attack with New Japan Pro Wrestling. We'll have a match of the week. Like I said, if you haven't yet, go check out the iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube. What's the other
Stitcher.
one? Stitcher. I don't even know what that is. But Stitcher. And please, give us the feedback. Give us a review. Let us know what you want to hear about. I am working on getting some interviews for you guys, so that'll be good over the weekend. I'm going to try to get Dalton Castle.
Okay.
I'm going to try to talk to Matt Hardy. Going to try to talk to James Storm, find out some stuff from him. Maybe talk to Moose. Greedo. Is that his name? Greedo?
Yeah,
Grado. Greedo. Who knows?
Yeah.
It all depends on who's saying it with the accent that they have. Kind of like the whole baller thing.
Yeah.
I heard Baylor, Baller, Beely. I don't know.
Baller.
I heard a
He's
bunch
Irish.
of. Yeah, I just heard a bunch of different names for him over the past 3 days. But I'm going to try to get some interviews for you guys. So then, you'll have that to check out, and you'll hear it from the horse's mouth instead of just listening to us two guys that think we know what we're talking about.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.
See you guys.